Shalom and welcome back to the tea table, my friends. It would seem that summer has finally come to Germany with Israel-like temperatures, and it is really hot. Anyway, today's message was inspired by a phrase I heard a few days ago, which brought back memories of my childhood. Now, for those who know me, what I am about to say won't take you by surprise. And for those who don't know me, what I am about to say may very well take you by surprise. When I was a youngster, all the way through grade school and probably into my second year of high school, I was considered to be a troublemaker, a wise guy, the class comedian. Not the serious trouble that got you expelled from school, but the kind that everyone laughed at, and which usually got you sent to the detention room for causing a commotion. One thing I heard as a youngster in school and often at home where I lived with my two older brothers and two younger sisters was, okay, who started it? You know, for all practical purposes, it was a rhetorical question, meaning a response was really not needed. For example, we find in Job 38:3, God asked Job the question, "Where were you when I laid the earth's foundation? Tell me if you understand." You know, to be sure, there was absolutely nothing Job could have said. And you know, God asks Job 47 questions, all similar to this. So when my mother or father or teacher or principal asked the question, okay, who started it? It was a rhetorical question because they all knew it was probably, me. When you are in that type of setting and get asked that type of a question of who started it, everyone knew that whoever started it was in trouble. And that usually meant detention, time out, all liberties taken away, go to your room, no dinner, or even extra homework. And for my two older brothers, if they were the victims of my pranks, it meant all of the above, in addition to, let me get my hands on him and use him for a punching bag. You know, I've learned that okay, who started it doesn't always have to end in a form of punishment or getting in trouble. Thank God for 1 John 4:19 that reveals we shall love God because he first loved us. In other words, when it concerns the love of God and the question, okay, who started it, the response can only be, it wasn't me. God started this one, and thank God he did. We all have expressions of our love to one another, you know, flowers or chocolate, or maybe something really big like a marriage proposal. But the love of God is way beyond that. And if we think about the expression in 1 John 4:10, this is love, not that we love God, but that he loved us and sent his Son as an atoning sacrifice for our sins, we would have to admit that this form of love can only come from God. We've all heard the expression, especially from grandmothers with their grandchildren, I just love him to death, or I just love her to death, usually followed with a squeeze on the cheeks. We know what they mean when they say that. But when Christ said, I just love them to death, he actually meant it and willingly gave himself for our sakes. Remember when you were a kid, or even an adult for that matter, and you saw your Christmas present under the tree all wrapped up? You couldn't wait for the big day to open the gift. All kinds of thoughts went through your head as to what it might be. Maybe it's the train set you always wanted, or the special pretty doll that you fell in love with. Or maybe it's the new PC that you had your eye on. There was an excitement because there was a special unknown gift with your name on it. Well, the love of God is so great that it stretches from the eternal past to the present to the eternal future. In other words, God loved us first before we even existed. You know, it's not like a woman with child who loves her unborn child. There's still something there, and it's kicking and moving. There are many mysteries that we can never understand, like in Psalms 139:16. You saw me before I was born. Every day of my life was recorded in your book. Every moment was laid out before a single day had passed. Do we understand this? Of course not. It goes beyond our understanding, and this is confirmed in Ecclesiastes 11:5. As you do not know the path of the wind or how the body is formed in a mother's womb, so you cannot understand the work of God, the maker of all things. Truth be told, not only can we not understand the work of God, we don't have to understand the work of God. The only thing we have to know is what's told to us in Psalm 95:6. Come, let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before the Lord, our Maker. You know, when dealing with people in areas of the heart, oftentimes words are not enough. Words are nice, but expressions to back the words are also very important. Expressions like love and joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. You see, against these expressions of love, there is nothing that can stand up to them, as we are told in Galatians 5:22 and 23. The whole love affair with God was started by God and will end with God when He decides to take us home. Until that moment, we can rest in the fact that truly He is in control of all of our out-of-controls, and all the good gifts that we have come from Him. I once heard it said that all mankind has one thing in common, and that is we are all one breath from eternity. As an expression of God's love towards us, He gives us that breath, as mentioned in Acts 17:25b. Rather, He Himself gives everyone life and breath and everything else. So I leave you with this thought. God started the love relationship, and He maintains the love relationship, and He will finish the love relationship. And until that time, He will continue to shower and pour His loving affections on us, His children. And as an expression of that promise of love, I leave you with His blessing. Yevadikika Adonai Yishmareka, Ye'er Adonai Panavileka Vichoneka, Yisa Adonai Panavileka Viyasimleka Shalom. The Lord bless you and protect you. The Lord cause the light of His face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn His attention upon you and give to you His peace. God bless, guys, and I will see you again next week at the tea table.